Hey, what's up, y'all? Carmela here. I had a little story time to share today. I thought about sharing this earlier today, but during the time of me doing this video, the stream, it's after 5 o'clock in the evening time. But something, you know, um, something I seen inspired me to speak about this story time I want to share because when I first thought about this, I recently experienced this the end of September of this year, of 2023. But I felt kind of weird about sharing it. But, you know, I'm not worried about how people think of me and all that, but I was just like, you know, just kind of, skeptical about sharing and if, people can understand or relate to the information or whatever. But at this point, I'm at the point in my life, you know, where I just don't give a fuck what people think. I've been through a lot. I've learned a lot. I have grown a lot. And I feel that, you know, as long as I'm doing what I'm led to do, and as long as what I'm led to do is positive, you know, like it's been, my intention has been positive with me sharing things I've been sharing on my content on here, on this YouTube channel, and also my very first YouTube channel I did that I lost access to, Carmela A, and also the podcast that I've done so far. Um, my intention is to spread awareness about, the targeted individual topic in gang stalking, but I chose to incorporate a spiritual outlook on things with my messages. So I went the podcast route so I could, you know, go a different route of me expressing myself without having to, I just wanted a different avenue of me sharing my messages, basically. So, um, since I'm not podcasting at this time, I'm choosing to speak about certain things on here that I'm led to. And so I'm actually led to speak about this situation that I'm getting ready to express. But, you know, um, I'm not copying anyone with speaking about this, but I was inspired by a live stream that I came across today, actually. Um, November 1st, 2023, the date of the stream. There was a live stream that I came across and I clicked on it, and I am a subscriber to that person's channel, and they spread awareness about certain things like gang stalking and the targeted individual topic. They speak things about that, and they spread awareness about things going on in the world that are negative during times of spiritual warfare and things like that that's going on right now. And when I seen a certain live stream today, me coming on this live stream right now, the time I'm doing this, um, I was inspired to share this experience because I was just led to. Maybe people who have encountered people like this maybe choose not to speak out about it, or they think they're weird, or they think they're crazy, or they think they're just tripping. But maybe me speaking out about certain things can help other people speak out about certain things that they encounter or things that they experience, or if they do experience that, or if they do encounter certain things, and I'm just doing my part. You know, I am a targeted individual, and I do get gang stalked. And right now, I'm in the I am in a southern state in the U.S. United States. I choose not to state where I am exactly on here like I used to in the past when I did this channel, and also when I was doing content for my very first YouTube channel, Carmela A, that I lost access to back in 2020. But there's some things that certain people are talking about that it's not really mainstream or popular to talk about, but unless certain people already are aware of that type of information, then they're looking for it, and maybe those people are just drawn to finding that information for themselves, or are blessed enough to find certain avenues and certain platforms that speak about certain things that need to be heightened in awareness and things like that. And so I feel that with things that I've dealt with, and with things that I've learned so far, and after being in isolation for the amount of time that I've been in isolation, I've had to do that for myself because, you know, there was a lot of people that I found out. There was a lot of things that I found out about certain people from my past that were doing a lot of malicious things behind the scenes from my life, or behind the scenes of my life, I should say. I mean, there were certain people that I have befriended and been personal with, and things like that, and they have been trying to set me up behind the scenes, behind my back, without me knowing, unbeknownst to me, and things like that. But um, in 2022, last year, I found out a lot of things about a lot of people from my past that were in my personal life that I considered friends, people that I used to be with romantically and sexually and things like that, and also only in a friendship type of way. But there were certain people that I knew personally in my past that the universe let me know, the Most High God let me know. And I had a profound and a very intense spiritual awakening last year in 2022 when I was revealed a lot of things about things in my past that, were supposed to happen to me but didn't because of the grace of God, really. I can't speak for people who don't believe in God, but I do respect people's beliefs. And, you know, I speak about my truth, and I speak about things that I'm passionate about and things that I want to share. And I also share things that other people who may be like-minded as me could relate to. And I just do my part to share what I share because I know it can help people, especially targeted individuals who are being gang stalked, whether they like to identify as a targeted individual or a TI or not. I'm not in victim mentality. I been left that victim mindset, but I do realize that I have been a victim of a lot of things that were not supposed to be for me, and things that were not serving my highest good, and things that were not supposed to be in my life, and things like that. So as I raise my awareness on certain things, and and things like that, I've came to realize that, you know, I don't have to do what other people want me to do if they just think that they just take control. No, I mean, I'm over that negative mindset. You know, there's been a lot of spiritual warfare going on and a lot of spiritual attacks. And I speak about a lot about that. I speak a lot about that on my podcast called Shining Harmonious Light with Carmela's Insight that is found on Spotify. I have the link to my podcast on the other two videos I did before this one. But I'll probably end up putting the link in the comments or something in this after I do this stream here. But the reason why I chose to speak about myself like I did on my podcast when I was not speaking about certain deep spiritual messages, there were some episodes that I did on my podcast that I was exposing myself and speaking about things I've been through, and I spoke about how I overcame it and how, things like that. And oh, hello to the one that just commented on my chat. Hello. Sometimes YouTube lets the chat replay after it's live. Sometimes it doesn't. YouTube just does what it does because I am shadow banned, so whatever. But what I wanted to share today was something that people may not know a lot about, or they may not know a lot about. But a couple people that I know that have spoke about this subject that I'm about to speak about in the Storytime session today of my vlog talk today, or this evening, I should say. It's evening time where I am. I'm in the U.S. I'm in a southern state in the U.S., the United States. So it's almost 6 p.m. right now of me doing this live stream right now. It's like 5:51 p.m. right now of me saying it, but as I'm doing this live. But the only two people on YouTube that I have noticed that speak about sleeper cells, as in sleeper cells, for the people who have heard about MK Ultra, mind control, and things like that, excuse me, and things of that sort, sleeper cells are things, or I'm sorry, not things, but sleeper cells are related to people who are easily mind controlled. Okay, sleeper cells, to me, my definition of that is that a sleeper cell person is someone who is easily mind controlled and can basically do anything at the hands of whatever malicious energy is in control of that entity, person, or being. And a sleeper cell is a person that is easily mind controlled and someone that can easily be manipulated, not only in a spiritual way, but physically in the 3D way, also regular way. Okay, to me, that is what the type of person a sleeper cell is. And I noticed a live today before I went on this live stream that I'm speaking on right now. And the YouTube channel is called New Breed Global Truth. New Breed is Nubreed. That's how New Breed is spelled. New Breed Global Truth, I think, is the name of the YouTube channel. He's a melanated male, and he speaks about a lot of things going on in the world and spreads awareness about it. And I've noticed that he has spoke about gang stalking and target individuals. He has openly spoke about that on his platform plenty times, and also today, the date of this live stream, November 1st, 2023, on this lovely Wednesday. Um, and so I seen that live stream on that channel, and the title of that was Sleeper Cells, the Sleeper Cells. And I'm like, wow. I was actually thinking about speaking about that earlier today, earlier than the time I'm speaking about this right now on this live stream. And I was like, man, I don't want to seem like I'm weird or whatever, whatever. And I just wanted to meditate on it and see if I really just need to share this, because, maybe someone can learn from it, or someone can reference what I say to other things going on somewhere else. I don't know, but I was actually thinking about speaking about this earlier this afternoon of the same day of the stream. But I was like, no, I'm gonna wait and see if I get another little nudge or another certain intuitive message or idea for me to speak about this, and I did. So, but the the other YouTube channel, the other person that I know of that I I'm subscribed to his channel also, and that YouTube channel is called JWTV. To me, that's my news channel. I live in the United States. I live in the U.S., and there's a lot of things going on with the GOV and blah blah blah. I don't want my shit all deleted and just whatever. So I'm gonna keep it nice on here. But the government, you know. So there's a lot of things that have been going on in the GOV in the U.S. that's really toxic and things like that. And there's a lot of false flags being put up and a lot of malicious agendas being put out and things like that. And JWTV speaks about that. And what I love about his YouTube channel is that he always shows his receipts, meaning everything he speaks about on his YouTube channel, JWTV, he speaks about things that he can reference to. So the things that he speaks about is really things that's in the news, things that may not be spoke on the news, but it's on internet and things like that. But he's been showing other news references to things he speaks about too, not only internet websites and things like that, but he does show certain, he shows certain proof from references like that also. But JWTV is my news channel. I call him my news channel because I really don't watch the news regularly, but on certain things that's going on in the world and certain agendas that are just being projected and shit like that, that's being, projected in negative ways, I can relate to other people who think the same way about certain GOVs, governments, things like that. Government. I can't just say that out loud, too much. They'll be trying to. I'm already shadow banned, but I don't want to just not be able to go on, period, because they've been doing that to me already, YouTube. But I'm thankful to be able to even express and go live right now on YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. But, I'm shadow banned and shit, but whatever. But anyway, the story time I wanted to share today is I actually had a sleeper cell encounter one evening. And if you don't know what a sleeper cell is, I advise you to check out the YouTube channel New Breed Global Truth. Actually, the exact time that I'm live right now in real time, that YouTube channel is actually live right now too. And he's speaking about a open case that is going on in the news in somewhere in the US, and he was speaking openly about that because it's open for us to see anyway. So it's not like he's talking about things that he doesn't have to be, but he is doing his part to spread awareness about certain things going on and malicious agendas of malicious people with malicious intent and malicious groups such as Freemasonry and things like that, and things like that, right? But what I wanted to share today is, well, before I go into that, if you don't know what a sleeper cell is, or a person who is a sleeper cell, please do your research. But I've noticed that when you try to do your research and do that on YouTube, you're not going to get very far. So I would advise for anyone who is interested in learning about sleeper cells to go on New Breed Global Truth YouTube channel and look on his video with sleeper cells somewhere in the title of the video. It's actually a live stream, but if it does stay up, the title sleeper cell, or the words sleeper cell, somewhere in the title. Okay. So if you don't know about that, maybe there'll be some information on that YouTube channel and on that video that can help one be more knowledgeable in what a sleeper cell is and things like that. Okay. But anyway, on to my story time. This story time I'm going to express today, it happened the night of September 29th of 2023, this year. Or the 30th. Was it the 29th or the 30th? It was either September 29th or 30th, but I know it wasn't October 1st, but it was the ass end of September when this happened. But I think it was September 29th, the night of September 29th. But, past midnight, it starts another date. So I guess I can say September 30th, right? So this happened September 30th of 2023 this year. And I never would have just believed that people can be this mind controlled strongly like this if I didn't see this with my own eyes. Okay. I'm not invoking fear. I'm not spreading fear. I'm only sharing what I'm sharing to spread awareness about certain things that I'm led to. And these type of things happen, even though people might not talk about it as much in social media or otherwise. But I feel that in the future, more people will talk about this type of thing. I do feel that strongly, for real. As more things come out in the news and more things come out, like there's a lot of malicious things going on, like, wow. But onto my story time so I can stay on topic and stay on focus, stay focused on topic and stuff. I believe this happened. I know it was the end of September, so I think it was the 29th or the 30th of September this year. And I was out one night. I'm a nature nerd, so I like to be out in nature. I like to, chill, listen to music, eat good food, drink good drink. Doesn't have to be alcoholic or anything, because the whole summer of this year, I was sober than a mother sucker. Okay. I know how to cut, certain habits and when I can start them again. So I do occasionally drink my wine now, but I'm not alcoholic. I've never been an alcoholic ever a day in my life. But this past summer of this year, I did not drink any alcoholic beverages at all. And I believe that happened because I was going through some spiritual awakening times, and I received a lot of spiritual downloads about a lot of disturbing things that I couldn't have dealt with if I was drinking anything alcoholic. So I'm glad that I had enough self control not to drink certain drinks that could alter my energy and alter my perception of my emotions and all that. You know what I'm saying? So just saying that. But um, I was awakened to a lot of things, and after I realized a lot of things at that part of my spiritual journey, um, around the summertime of this year, going towards the end, because I think September 29th and 30th is already fall season, autumn season, if I'm not mistaken. I think September 29th or 30th is already autumn season, if I'm not mistaken. So that was already, up the summer, out of the summer season. But anyway, this fall, autumn night, me and someone else we were outside chilling in nature, listening to good music and stuff, and you know, and then all of a sudden, it was a public area, but it was outside. Okay, and there's this female that stopped, and she started talking to us random, right? Like we never knew her a day of our lives, me or that other person. And all of a sudden, she just started talking about random things and stuff like that. And okay, sorry, I was typing and stuff on my laptop. If you heard that, but anyway, I or me and this other person noticed a female who drove to the area where we're at outside, and all of a sudden she started staring at us real weird. And I'm like, what the fuck is this bitch's problem, right? And I'm like, damn, do I gotta fight? Do I gotta start squabbing or some shit like that? Do I have to start being in defense mode? Because I'm always ready. I stay ready, so I never have to get ready. I already know I'm a TI, a target individual. I already know I'm heavily gang stalked. So if someone just whips around and just wants to just randomly park where I'm at with someone else and invade our privacy and invade our space, I'm already expecting that, right? So when that woman came to the area where we're at, me and this other person, I was already on guard. I was already ready to fight, do everything I need to do, whatever, whatever. I was just ready for this bitch, whatever she was going to do, right? But I stayed optimistic and I stayed in control, and I had a lot of self control because, well, I'm going to get to that part of the story. Never mind. Let me not get too ahead of myself. But anyway, this random lady, she she was a melanated woman. She was young. I'm 37 years old. I know she was younger than me. She looked like she was in her 20s. She looked like a melanated woman in her 20s, very young, but she was overweight. Not to make fun of someone who's overweight, but she was overweight. But she was still attractive, in the face and everything. Like I don't judge how people look. I don't judge how people's body sizes are, but I'm just describing things so I can tell my story. Okay. So I'm doing it respectfully, right? But um so this sleeper cell woman, because as I was speaking to her, and the other person I was with was speaking to her, and she was speaking to us random and talking about random stuff because we didn't know her at all. She just drove up, got out her vehicle, started talking to us because we were standing outside in the back of the vehicle I was in, and we had the top out of the SUV, and we were sitting down in the back just chilling. enjoying the night air, you feel me? And had good music going and stuff. We weren't disturbing anyone, and we were playing music on a Bluetooth speaker. It wasn't on like big speakers that are like, it wasn't disturbing anyone. We were not disturbing anyone when we were chilling outside, basically. So when the woman just came and just randomly just parked her car next to us and just started, and then she got out of her vehicle and started talking to us random and shit. I was like, okay, what's her agenda? That's my thinking. That is my mindset in my mind without me saying it to her, right? But as I was listening to her, I started noticing that it was like she had multiple personalities. Like she would come in and out of certain personalities. I don't know how else to explain it. Like she came in and out of certain personalities. Like she didn't have like a dark voice like that and then had a high voice like this, but she had her same tone of her speaking, but I can tell by looking at her eyes, me personally, I can tell by her looking at her eyes and how her eyes were doing and how her body movement was that it was truly some type of multiple personality shit going on with her. Not to be mean, but I'm just describing what I seen, okay? In the story time session, okay? But it was like, I was like, dang. First she's talking about this and this, and then she's talking about that, and then all of a sudden she starts walking close to me, and then she stands right next to me. But I already automatically knew that she was doing that to provoke me, to try to like fight her and touch her first so I can get arrested, break the law, whatever, whatever, because that's how the law would see it. If I was to touch her first, that's how the law would see it. And so I was like, I'm not going to fall. I'm thinking to myself, I'm not going to fall for this trap. I'm going to keep it calm. And as long as she's not touching me physically, I'm not going to feel any type of way. Okay. So I have that in my mindset, right? So when I'm like, girl, you too close to me, man. Can you back up, please? I said it just like that. And she stood there. I'm like, you need to back the fuck up. Then I said that in a cuss word. Like I said it more stern in my voice. And she was still standing there. I'm like, this bitch is a sleeper cell. This woman is a product of MK Ultra mind control. And I'm like, okay. So I regrouped my emotions. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to come at this bitch like I'm trying to defend myself, like she's trying to do something to me, because I see she's not trying to do nothing physically to me, but she's just trying to provoke me. So I'm like, okay. So I step back. And as soon as I take some steps back, even though she stepped close to me and walked close to me from coming out of her vehicle and stuff like that, I took a step back. And as soon as I took a step back, she woke up out of whatever trance she was in and she started talking about something totally different, totally different. I'm like, this is some sleeper cell crap. I'm like, man, I'm seeing this with my own eyes. The universe is showing me a sleeper cell in my personal space, even though she's random. I don't know her from Timbuktu. I don't know her from shit. The person who I was with did not know her either personally at all. And it was like, whatever. So I'm like, okay. So all of a sudden, to make a long story short, even though I'm not describing everything that was said, because I don't remember everything that was said, but it was things that I can describe that were said from her, was things that I don't feel she knew. But it's just the look in her eyes, man. It was a look in her eyes that made me just feel in my spirit that I'm like, yeah, she's not in control of her own mind. Okay. She's not in control of her body. Because one of the things that I can remember that I can say out loud, that there's this one time that this random woman that just wanted to talk to me and talk to whoever I was with and everything, who I called the sleeper cell woman, uh, who I encountered. Um, One thing she said that really stuck out to me that made me realize she was really a sleeper cell was when she said, what did she say? She said something to the effect of like, I'm gonna fall back right now and just kill myself. I'm like, what? Like she stood up, she had her head back, and she was like, I'm gonna fall back right here and I'm gonna just, off myself. I don't want to say the word kill on here. I don't want to be, you know, shadow banned all the way off YouTube, but that's just what she said. And I'm like, wow. I don't think she realized she's saying that shit about wanting to kill herself like that. And she just drove a vehicle. Like, come on, right? I'm like, okay. So I'm internally, with myself, I'm studying her as I'm seeing her. I'm like, wow, I didn't think people can be that mind controlled, but really people can, And that night really opened up my eyes. It really did. And if I didn't see that, I would have never thought that people can be that MK Ultra mind controlled. I had to see it with my own eyes, and no one can tell me different about what happened. I'm going to take a pause for a moment. Hold on. Something's coming up. Hold on. Man, I hate interruptions. Don't you? Damn. Man, that's why I love podcasting. Sorry about that little pause there. But I hate when I have interruptions and I can't just stop it and just go back on the same thing I was on. Because when I was podcasting, I was using the Anchor FM app. And so I would record, and then when I would upload that, it would automatically go to Spotify, the episode that I record. But anytime I had to stop to do anything unexpected, I would just pause it and go back to it, and then no one would ever notice that I had a blank little moment or anything. But anyway, sorry about that little interruption with nothingness, but I had to take care of something right quick. But anyway, I just want to express that sleeper cells are real. There are really people that are truly mind controlled, and it's sad. I'm thankful that I have uh, I'm thankful that I'm strong-minded and strong-willed, and that I'm not easily controlled like that. Because what I seen with my own eyes with that lady that I was speaking about a moment ago, I was like, man, it was like there were certain things that she said that was about random things and random people that I didn't know nothing about, but the other person I was with knew something about. And, it was kind of weird, but, I understand that to be nothing but MK Ultra mind control at work. Trances are real. People can be under trances and don't fucking know it. even if they're not in that type of dark occult practices. I know that from experience. Okay. I'll tell you a story about that. That's actually in the topic, and I guess it's kind of in the same subject of what I'm speaking about that. But there was a time, I think it was sometime between the year 2006 to 2008, somewhere between those years, 2006, 2008. I want to say '07 or '06, but somewhere around those years, there was a time when I was not doing nothing. Like, this was before I drank any alcoholic beverage, before I smoked any weed or anything. Like, there was a time when I was just sober all the way, and I was still put under a fucking trance beyond my control. And I know what a fucking trance feels like. And even though I don't consider myself a sleeper cell, I do consider myself as a person that has been under a fucking trance from the control of a malicious person who was behind the scenes of my life at that time. And that type of shit is fucking real. You know what I'm saying? I've spoke about this story on my podcast. Actually, there is a episode I did on my second podcast that I did called Shining Candlelight with Harmonious. I'm sorry. It's called Shining Candlelight with Carmela's Insight. That's what the second podcast I did is called. It's called Shining Candlelight with Carmela's Insight. I did it in October of last year, 2022, but I was only able to record 3 episodes of that because of the hacking problems I went through after that last episode I did, and it went to shit and everything and all that shit, whatever. But there's an episode that I have on there that's also found on Spotify, like my other podcast, like the one I've done this year, Shining Harmonious Light with Carmela's Insight. The podcast I've done this year in 2023 is found on Spotify. The very first podcast I did called Harmony Healings, that's also found on Spotify. And Harmony is spelled HARMONNI, Harmony Healings. I just thought of a unique way how to spell harmony, just to be different, whatever. But on that first podcast I did, and on the second podcast I did, Shining Candlelight with Carmela's Insight, I've spoke about a lot of personal type of situations I've been through, and I've shared a lot on those podcasts. But on my second podcast that I did, that I started, that didn't go very far. It did not go very far at all. I'm just looking at the chat comment. That is true. I'm reading the chat comment as I'm live right now. Yeah, they do increase the intensity of whatever you choose to do. I do agree with that, to the one that commented while I'm live. Yes, especially when drinking alcohol. That's what. Yes, I do agree with that. I'll read the comment. It says, I used to smoke weed. They can increase the intensity of the weed. They do it to me still when drinking alcohol to increase how drunk I get. Yeah, I do agree with that, to the one that commented that. Yes. Another comment before that one, it says they can make it as powerful as they want. It matters not how strong you are. They can overpower any mind and control it. I disagree with that. They can overpower any mind they want to, but it matters on your awareness about that, and you have the upper hand when you have awareness about that, so that they cannot control and overpower any mind and control it. That's my take on that. um I feel that people like that who do that mind control type crap, I feel that they take advantage of people who are not in the know about that type of shit. And they take advantage of people who are not spiritually awakened or just not in the know about certain things with mind control. And I feel that, a lot of malicious beings, and malicious groups such as Freemasonry and things like that, whatever, the malicious part of things, I feel like they do take advantage of people and overpower their mind. But I think that they have the advantage of that when the people or a person that they're overpowering the mind, when they're not aware of that happening, that's when they have the power. They have the power when that person that they're attacking does not know about that going on with them. That's my personal take on that because of my personal things that I've learned and things like that. But oh, okay. IMO means in my opinion, LOL. Yeah. I'm like, IMO, I'm so dumb to that. I've never seen that acronym before. IMO. Okay. I know what BTW is, by the way, and LOL, laugh out loud, but I never seen IMO. Okay. I'm just looking at the chat comment right now. Okay. You had me learn something new today, to the one that commented that on the chat. The reason why I'm not shouting out your name is because sometimes with the replay, sometimes it does not replay the comment. So, I'm just reading and just going along with me, just noticing this right now as I'm live in real time. But yeah, thanks for letting me know, IMO. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. But yes, I agree with that opinion of yours with that. I do, of course. But I do, I agree to a certain extent though, because I think that when you know that that's going on, that they're less likely to have all of the control. They're less likely to have all the control of the mind they want to empower. You know, they're less likely to do that when that person that they're attacking and want to mind control, when they know that's going on, they're not going to be able to just mind control them like that. If you know what I'm saying, it's an awareness thing. It's an awareness thing, and that's what I've learned personally. And I've been put under a trance before, and I'm 37 years old. Old. I'm an old seasoned woman now, almost 40. But I was in my young 20s when this happened to me. What I'm getting ready to say. I guess number 2 story time on this live. But between the years of 2006 and 2008, I feel like it was either 2006 or 2007, either one of those 2 years, but somewhere around that time, um, I was driving. I was driving on I-20, on Interstate 20 in Texas, the state of Texas in the U.S. And it was dark, but it was early morning. Like it was like between 3 in the morning, 5 in the morning, something like that. And all of a sudden, I was driving. Well, not all of a sudden I was driving, but I was driving, and my significant other at the time was in the passenger seat. My male significant other was in the passenger seat at that time. And his mother was in the back seat, but she was sitting behind me, behind the driver's seat of the vehicle, right? Of the car. And like, all I remember is that, I wasn't drinking shit. I wasn't smoking no weed, no nothing. Like I wasn't on nothing back then. Not even smoking Black and Miles. Not like my occasional black and mild cigars. Okay. I don't smoke cigars every day. I don't smoke cigarettes every day, but I do enjoy the taste of a good old black and mild. Okay. But I wasn't even smoking that at that time. Okay. So I wasn't doing shit, nothing. And all of a sudden, I just blacked out the blue. But I didn't realize I was blacking out at that exact moment. But for however long it was, I feel like it wasn't no more than like 3 minutes, 2 minutes maybe. And then all of a sudden I came to, and I was so close to the car in front of me on the interstate on I 20. It was on Interstate 20 in the state of Texas. And I was coming from Dallas, Texas, going back to East Texas. And I was on that part of I 20, Interstate 20, that highway. But yeah, I somehow blacked out of fucking nowhere, and then all of a sudden just came to and almost hit the car in front of me. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm not even, I mean, I'm sleepy, but not that sleepy. I'm not going to drive when I'm sleepy. What the fuck going on? That's what I'm thinking in my mind at that time. But in all reality, what I later found out about that situation years later, once I became deeper in my spiritual journey, I first became on my spiritual journey in the year 2018. The situation I just described a moment ago that happened between the years of 2006 2007. So somewhere in 2006 or 2007, that's when that happened. But in 2018, that's when I first became, being on my spiritual journey and things like that. And so in the year 2022, I started getting a lot of spiritual downloads and a lot of spiritual messages about things from my personal life, but about things that were going on in my past, behind the scenes that I didn't know about at the time when I was dealing with those people. And so I later found out that with that situation, with me being in a trance while driving, basically that's what it was. But I didn't know that at that time when that happened to me. I didn't know about that being that reason of why that happened to me. I just didn't say nothing about it. And, but in all reality, I later found out that the person that was in the back seat of that vehicle when I went through that, she was doing some type of seance and some type of, evil spell work, whatever type shit. And she was chanting whatever malicious shit she was doing while I was driving to make me be in a trance so that I could do that and not know what I'm doing while driving. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so me speaking about sleeper cells, I'm only speaking about it because I know that sleeper cells exist, and it's not just about the individual sleeper cell. It's a mixture. Me personally, I think that a person being a sleeper cell is a mixture of spell work, evil spell work, and also mind control techniques that can be done in a physical 3D regular type of way also. But I feel like it's all spiritual evil witchcraft in the background with that shit. Me personally, that's what I think. Because I just have a spiritual mindset on life period with the level that I'm in spiritually for myself. And so that's why I chose to isolate myself and not be around a lot of people as I learned things from my past that were supposed to be my downfall, but it wasn't because the universe didn't allow it to happen. So, you know what I'm saying? But I'm thankful that I learned the lessons that I learned, and I'm thankful that I'm learning more things now. And, a mind is truly a terrible thing to waste. I used to see a commercial when I was a kid in the 90s um, I forgot what organization had that type of slogan, but the slogan was, "A mind is a terrible thing to waste." And I'm like, it truly is. It really is. And I'm like, wow, I've been in a trance before while driving, so I know what it feels like. I did not know that it was a trance at that time when it went on exactly in the year 2006 or 2007 when that happened, but in 2022, when I raised my awareness and I was deeper in my spiritual journey, I started learning deeper things and things like that spiritually about life and about my past that I did not know before and things like that. And so, you know, I'm just thankful that the universe showed me what I needed to know. Not everyone is a believer of God, but I am. But I believe in God and I believe in the universe. I know that the universe has had my back, because all the things that I've learned about things that's happened behind my back that was supposed to be my downfall, I'm still here. So, the universe allowed me to still be standing and still be strong and still be a person that can be words of encouragement to others going through the same shit of being gang stalked and going through spiritual warfare and things like that. And, I know how important it is to be in a positive mindset. And if anyone feels alone, I know that feeling that way is only the mindset. Even though a person can be physically alone, it does not mean that they are mentally alone. I don't know if that makes any sense. I guess when you're on a certain level spiritually, I guess maybe I have a higher dimensional way of thinking, maybe. I don't know. uh, but I have embraced my isolation. I've been estranged from my whole family for a long time now. Um, I wasn't I was not really close to my family when I was dealing with them, but I noticed the little signs of them being toxic and not really showing love to me like I felt like I should have been shown love. And so like I kind of knew that I was a black sheep anyway. So it was not hard for me to just estrange myself from my whole fucking family. And I have truly estranged myself from my whole bloodline. I don't speak to anyone in my family at all. The only ones that I would have considered still being, dealing with, they're already deceased. They're already transitioned out of 3D. They're already passed on, so you know what I mean? So as far as physical people go, I don't let isolation be negative to me, because, some people think that isolation is toxic and it's a social negative construct and shit like that. But no, like sometimes isolation can be a way of being closer to enlightenment and more spiritual awakenings. And the less people you're around, sometimes you get to learn more things because of certain positive energy coming to you that would not have come to you if you were around negative people and negative energies, if that makes any sense. You know, Talking from a spiritual point of view, but that's just how my point of view is. So that's just my way of thinking. But so I apologize for being confusing if I seem confusing. I'm not intentionally trying to be confusing. But anyway, trances are real, sleeper cells are real, and if I never been in a trance before and never learned about me even being in a trance, I probably would not feel how I feel now about that. I would just think, oh no, that shit is like not true. That's just gibberish. That's just lies. That's just superstition and all that. I probably would be in that mindset if I didn't go through it myself. You know, if I was closed minded about that existing or happening, but I feel like I went through certain things negative in my life to open my eyes about certain things I needed to learn. And I'm thankful that I've learned those lessons, even though they were very unpleasant, certain things that I went through, but I'm glad that I went through it to learn what I need to learn. I'm not glad that I went through it. I'm not saying I like toxic shit and I like it. No, I'm saying in a sense of me appreciating the lesson out of negative things that I've been through. You know what I mean? I'm appreciative of, the opportunity of me learning those life lessons I needed to learn in order to progress in my life and progress in my mindset positively, of course. You know what I mean? So, well, anyway, yeah. Yeah, I seen the little chat. I seen the chat comment. The comment says, isolation is what the perpetrators want for you. I like my own company too, though. That is true. The perpetrators, the perps, the gang stalkers, that's what they want. But I agree with that to a certain extent. I feel like they want isolation to be negative for you, not necessarily what they just want for you. Yes, they do want us to be isolated and not have no support system. Yes, the perps and the gang stalkers, yes, they do want that, of course, yes. But they want you to be in, for my opinion, I think that the perps, the perpetrators, the gang stalkers, they want you to be in that mindset to think of that as being a negative thing. You feel me? If you don't think of isolation as being a negative thing, then I think that isolation can be a time period of personal growth and things like that. So isolation can be positive and be negative, but it's all on how one deals with that. You feel me? That's just how I, you know, see that. But I do agree to a certain extent. Yeah. But anyway, all right. I'm done running my mouth now. I'm getting ready to, you know, um, cook some shit. Find something to cook in the kitchen. Getting a little hungry now. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I'm gonna end with my ending slogan that I would say on my podcast that I actually use as my personal positive affirmation for myself. I'll end with this. Have faith, stay hopeful, and stay strong. I'm out, y'all.